15 years later, they're doing a sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Yes, a game from all the way back in 2004. I mean, they're rolling everything else back to the Bush administration, so why not also the rough around the edges but fondly remembered video game spin-off of the role-playing game franchise you learned just enough of to try and fail at impressing the hot goth chick at Newbury Comics. Or maybe that was just me. Anyway, it's back and people are mad for a stupid reason. Yeah, I know, look, it's a relatively niche industry, okay? Something worth talking about doesn't actually happen every week, and I'll be damned if I was gonna try and drag a whole show out of whichever royal this is, saying he wants to ban Fortnite in the UK. Wait, is this the one that's gonna be king, or the one that married the actress from Suits? Well, okay, so which one gets Excalibur? Well, then what's all this bullshit on the news about? But alright, what's got the usual suspects ticked off in particular is that this particular sequel is going to feature an overhauled character creation engine that'll let players not only decide on the physical attributes of their character before they're transformed into a vampire at the beginning of the game, but also their body type, gender identity, voice, pronouns, etc., all in the name of greater inclusivity and acknowledgement of a diverse 21st century gaming audience. Which, of course, is evidence that the wrong people are calling the shots in the developer's office, and this whole thing is just going to be a disaster. God, I don't even remember what it was like to not be tired.
I am so tired.
But what bugs me is, I feel like it wasn't that long ago that this kind of thing, the ability to have lots of options for what to do with a character, was something gamers would brag about, a thing we'd point to in the medium and use as a talking point to say, see, options, ways to explore identity, that's a positive, forward-thinking aspect to this hobby you keep stereotyping as just being mindless violence. Remember, people used to raise this point for the later Saints Row games all the time. Saints Row 4, incidentally, is still my favorite game of that whole console generation. You know, yeah, sure, these games are violent and scatological with bad taste humor and dildo bats and naughty language, but you can put your character in any clothes you want regardless of gender, be any race or body type you want, use a masculine-coded voice in a female-looking body or vice versa, initiate a romance sequence with supporting characters of either gender. How progressive! Now, obviously, there's an issue of intent present in both cases that makes them different. The varied options in Bloodlines 2 are stated to be there for purposes of inclusivity and diversity, so people who get mad at that kind of thing because it signals a broader political bent they don't like are mad about it, whereas the Saints Row franchise ended up in a quasi-progressive place in part by, well, joking around about it. It let you break gender and race coding with costuming as part of an overall irreverent tone, and then Saints Row 4 played up the sleep with anyone in the crew aspect as a mini-game to riff on the then-new romance options in games like Mass Effect, plus it added to the general sense of morally subversive, unbound from the rules attitude that informed the main characters. But the point is, gamers were happy to claim open-mindedness and inclusivity as a net positive when it was seen as a way to defend gaming from perceived criticism, but now that the wrong kind of games boosters are touting it as an intended feature, it's the games themselves that we think we need defending from. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, folks. After all this time, why do we want to stay locked into this old, played-out paradigm where the only positive position so many of us know how to take is a defensive one? It's a weird relationship to have with media you claim to love or even just appreciate on a serious level, that if you're straining for a gotcha to prove something's worth, it's a positive, but if the people making it say up front it's in there and we put it in on purpose, it becomes, whoa, hey, let's not politicize the fun. If Bloodlines 2 is different, it's because 2004 was a long time ago and a lot of things have changed. And one of those things is that video games are a massively influential medium that doesn't need its consumers defending it from anybody anymore. We can engage in more thoughtful ways, and not just when we're trying to prove something that's already of value and evidence. Just a thought.